Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking in on the markets. First thing to note, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have picked up in a very big way, giving indications that the bottom of the big time sell-off from the all-time high has pretty likely been hit. I'm pretty confident that the bottom is set at this point, but interesting and nice to see that we are seeing that volume and volatility come back to the space, certainly when it's favoring the bulls, and a lot of people thinking that that's potentially due to the continuing trade war with China and the US. So since we last talked, China and the US have had a clear falling out on the trade deal, but where we closed, always about perspective and longer term time frames. S&P 500 closed on Friday. We've only ever closed higher 20 times in the history of the S&P 500. So we saw bulls buy the dip Thursday and Friday. The close on Friday is the highest close that we've seen since Monday. So again, very notable that bulls are still buying the dip. I'm still bullish the S&P 500 because we were just looking for a weekly higher low to form. We can see a long lower wick on the weekly time frame, and we did fill a gap. There was a gap down here at 282.84. That gap filled, a quick turnaround, and the question is, can the bulls get followed through on Monday and Tuesday? Anything under 294.34 is just a daily lower high, so it's going to require a trend change on the daily. I assume we will form a lower high compared to that 294 level, need a higher low compared to 282, and then that trend change would have us looking for a potential all-time high test. A big red flag for me would be if we see no follow through, can't break the high of Friday, and come down and break 282.30 on big bear volume. So I've been talking about how the bears need volume, and really the only impressive bear volume that we've seen at this point was back on Tuesday, because what we saw on Thursday and Friday, a lot of that volume is bulls buying the dip with closes closer to the high of the day. And again, I'm just unimpressed by the bears on the daily time frame at this point. It was a nice pullback, absolutely, and it gave that VIX, the volatility index, the spike, and the bears had their fun for a week or so, but I am still personally bullish the S&P 500. I've been playing the biotech sector bullish via LABU, the leveraged ETF. I've been playing the MJ space bullish, looking at buying dips there, and that's not going to change unless we drop and break 282.30 on big bear volume. IWM on the daily time frame. We're looking at the bulls attempting to shift momentum as well. Anything under 161.11 is just a lower high. So even if we do see this bounce that originated Thursday and Friday, and even if we do see that follow through Monday and Tuesday, we will still be looking for daily lower highs on a lot of these names. So keep in mind that we can be waiting patiently for a tightening range, anticipated tightening range. If we do get some green early this coming week, we'll look for the lower high, then a higher low having to form, same as what I just said on SPY. QQQ, again, looking at the weekly longer term time frame. Does that look like a bullish chart? And my answer is absolutely. The last time we consolidated, we held the 12-period exponential. We're holding it right now. This is a brief pullback to establish a higher low after not consolidating for 5 weeks. And at this point, I still view this weekly time frame and all weekly time frames on these major markets as bullish. So the question is, will we form some follow through and form a lower high compared to 191.25? Again, space to form that lower high, same as everybody that we've just looked at. We're going to have to top out, hold the low, and then break wherever we top out on this current bounce that's underway. And Monday will give us a lot of information as to how much follow through we get, how much space can the bulls create from that low of Friday, and then we'll look to see if we top out and form a higher low somewhere mid to later in the week. XLF, financial sector. Again, weekly time frame for perspective. Extremely bullish. We were very due for consolidation after 6 green weeks in a row. We bounced off exponential support. There's a lower wick on the weekly candlestick, and there's no real major red flag. The financial sector here didn't see any bear volume. We got 2 days with bear volume, and other than that, we see bulls buying the dip with that volume. Anything on the daily chart under 28.12 is just a lower high. Same setup as everybody else. We will anticipate a lower high on this bounce attempt, and it'll be up to the bulls to form a higher low and then continuation from there. Biotech sector is tightening up nicely. I do like the biotech sector for its volatility day after day, really day in and day out. If you're looking for something in a day trade, XBI, LABU, and LABD have it. But we have essentially a quadruple bottom down in the 82 40s, the low 82s. And the question is, can we break momentum and see this bounce off of this support level? So looking at the hourly, the bulls are going to have to break 85.12, first 84.26, and then 85.12 for us to say confidently that our base of support has held yet again, and we're going to look up for a lower high compared to 87.71, anticipating this daily chart to continue tightening. If we do get some more bull follow through on Monday, we'll look to stay in this tightening range for at least a few more days after that. And last, we got the healthcare sector. So remember, we were looking at this setup with our high, low. We were anticipating a lower high, pretty much a double top, and now we pulled back, and the bulls are trying to give us the indication that our higher low has formed. And if we get a bull break over 91.03, that is going to be very notable for a shift back in favor of the bulls, and that is something that's going to give a lot of relief to the biotech sector, in my opinion. And with the healthcare sector being the second largest holding in SPY, if we were to get up over 91.03, I would be looking for the SPY bulls to be looking back up to test that all-time high pretty soon. And looking at the VIX, again, big time spike up, highlighted how the bull moves have lasted about 3 or 4 days aside from the December collapse. And this was a solid big bull move, a lot of short squeeze going on. But again, length of time of how long these spikes last, we can look historically and just see so many examples of 3 or 4 days. And in this instance, we saw 4 days marking the top, 2 days of a huge pullback. And that just goes to show you how quickly these moves fade. And we drop back 33% in 2 days from the high. And the reason for that is because bulls know that shorting the volatility index has been an ATM machine, and after quick spikes, we generally pull back really hard. So I know a lot of traders in our chat room were hedging long-term, or not hedging, wrong word. They were entering longer-term bearish positions on the volatility index as in addition to buying dips. So whether you're buying dips or shorting volatility, you're looking for the same thing to happen. And at this point, we're going to look at oil in the commodities video in a bit, probably tomorrow morning. But overall, I am not seeing enough signs by the bears that are showing me on longer term weekly time frames that this pullback is anything but healthy weekly consolidation. Most of the fallout from the US-China trade deal has taken place, in my opinion, and hard to imagine, unless things escalate and we start seeing name calling like I talked about in another video and all that, it's hard to imagine, the market is not pricing in a no deal coming up to this point. So again, I am not impressed by the bears, and it's going to require a break of these lows on big bear volume in order for me to become impressed by these bears. So I appreciate you watching, and I'm going to continue looking bullish and looking for setups on bull breaks, and I will see you all Monday morning. Have a good rest of your weekend. Low, high, higher, low, lower, high, higher, low, low, high, higher, low, lower, high, higher, low, low, high, higher, low, lower, high, higher, low, low, high, higher, low, lower, high. Sorry, I just blacked out.